The bride was assassinated by her family's enemies on her wedding day. To everyone's shock, she shoved the groom straight toward the killer. The woman who had been paralyzed for years suddenly stood up from her wheelchair. Instead, she rushed to shield the groom's older brother. Only then did the groom finally realize his fiancée's legs had never been paralyzed. And the man she truly loved was his own brother. In the end, the groom died on the spot, stabbed repeatedly by the assassin as he lay in regret and disbelief. Fortunately, fate gave him a second chance at life. He was reborn on the very day he was to choose his bride. As in the previous life, his older brother spoke first and told him to choose before he did. Back then, seeing his brother and Jessica the heiress clearly drawn to each other, he had stepped aside and chosen Lucy, who was paralyzed and abandoned by her own family. This time around, he loved no one, and he would never let any of them get what they wanted. So he deliberately chose Jessica, the one his brother was in love with. Hearing his son's choice, the father was the first to object. He scolded him for trying to sabotage his brother's romance. Only then did the man realize his father's talk about choosing freely was nothing more than a formality to avoid being accused of favoring his illegitimate son. At that moment, Lucy suddenly stood up from her wheelchair. She said she knew their family's finances had collapsed and announced she could inject $1 billion in capital, but only if the older brother married her. Seeing how firm her choice was, the groom immediately realized Lucy had also been reborn. He never expected that in this life, Guruyan, in order to marry the older brother, would reveal her greatest bargaining chip and even offer a dowry of $3 billion. Considering the Gu family's power far exceeded that of the Changs, their father immediately agreed to let Lucy marry his illegitimate son. But now Jessica was furious. She declared she'd rather die than marry the younger brother. The older brother pretended to speak up on his behalf, and Jessica was instantly moved again by his kindness. She recounted how 10 years ago she and Lucy had fallen into the water, and thanks to the older brother, both survived. Otherwise, neither of them would be alive. Little did she know, the true rescuer back then was the younger brother. He had been kicked into the water by Lucy while saving her, yet the two blind and ungrateful girls mistook the later arriving older brother as their savior. Fortunately, a passing nanny eventually pulled the boy out. Looking at the two ungrateful ingrates, the man said bluntly he didn't want either of them. His father snapped that if he refused a marriage alliance, did he plan to freeload at home forever? The man replied he would accept running Ting Yuan's failing branch office as the price for not marrying. His father had long wanted to dump that mess on someone, so he agreed to his request.